Queens Uncut family, welcome and know that you're tuned in to Black Queens Uncut, where you can grab your wine, your vape, or whatever you need to relax so we can get into this queen chat. I'm Monique Loveless, and we are missing TK this week, but Kiki, introduce yourself.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Kiki Boom Boom.
And we're going to throw in our producer today, Josh. So go ahead and introduce yourself, Josh.
What's good? It's Josh Rodriguez at Josh_Rodriguez_. We're talking threesomes. Let's do it.
Let's do it. I love that Josh has like all these different podcasts, but he comes on to ours and he has to talk about stuff like threesomes and
I don't mind it.
Josh is like, what's good on a Saturday morning?
Right. This is how we're starting our morning. Hello. But we are talking about threesomes today. And we were just having this conversation. I want to go into the intro, but we were just having this conversation. Kiki, you say you don't like threesomes, but why?
I am not a threesome person. 3 is my favorite number. Allen Iverson is my favorite basketball player. He rocks the number 3. But threesomes are just not for me. It's okay. So a long story short, I am openly bisexual. People know that. I don't like to tell men that I am because I feel like when you do, the first thing men think is like threesome with a girl. But I'm like, no. And when I have ADHD, I wouldn't know what the fuck to do. I feel like I would just be on the sideline. Now, have I been invited to a lot of threesomes? Yes. Have I kind of entertained it where I would go, but just wouldn't like do anything? Absolutely. And then I just end up leaving. But threesomes.
Hold up. So you've gone to threesomes. So
Well,
technically it's not a threesome because you've gone to a threesome and you didn't participate?
Yeah, no, I don't like them. It looks boring. Like me personally, like if I'm fucking a guy, I like it to just be he and I. We're doing everything that we're doing. I feel like when there's another person there, it gets weird, it gets awkward. You have to have a conversation. Are you okay? Like you want to come in here? And I just don't want to. I don't want to do that. And I've been invited by a lot of friends, like to come in as like they're a couple, and I'm like, no. And then if I'm cool with you, I don't want it to. And we're girls. I feel awkward, like, and then I don't want to show you out. So. I'm just saying, I don't want it to be weird tension. I don't want to show you out because I am who I am. And yeah, threesomes have never been my thing when it came to like a guy and a girl. And I question guys. I'm like, what about 2 guys?
You said what? You question what?
When guys ask for like a guy and a girl, I'm like, what about 2 guys? And then guys get very like, oh no. So I'm like, well, you're not into threesomes.
Well, I feel like 2 guys is more of like a train.
That's not a train. That's a threesome. A train is like, yes, back in the days when we were like in high school, there'd be 2. To me, I thought trains were like 3 or 4 guys because I'm like, why is it like a double standard? No, why is it a double standard? Like, how come like it can't be? Because I know women who enjoy threesomes with 2 guys.
But that's more like if they're not participating with each other, that's more like you had a train on you.
Or no, because women
3 or 4 guys is a gangbang. Like if you look up a gangbang, it's multiple guys with one girl.
I know what a gangbang is. Or you can have a threesome where you're into DP, double penetration. Like that's a threesome. Like the guys don't have to fuck each other. But if I'm, for a podcast sake, if I'm having a threesome with 2 guys and I have a few holes, some guys don't mind doing DP, double penetration. They're not messing with each other, but they don't mind, you know, anally.
I have to look that one up because a threesome is more like everybody partakes with everyone.
No. When you go to certain porn sites, just type in DP, double penetration. There are a lot of women. I have female friends who are into it, or if it's a whole thing. But yeah, I think threesomes can be considered 2 guys and a girl, 3 guys, 2 girls and a guy. Like I think threesomes can just be 3 people. It doesn't matter if you're like. I do think some people engage with each other, but I do think it can be 2 guys and a girl too.
Okay, Josh, have you ever had a threesome?
I have not had a threesome. No, I've never had.
Really?
Yeah.
Would you ever partake in a threesome?
I don't know.
Invited?
I've been invited twice in college. And I said no. The first time I was at a party and it was 2 girls and I was talking to them, and one girl looks at me and she goes, he's cute. We should fuck him. And I was like, Jesus Christ.
Josh, that's my mood though. For someone just to randomly walk up to you and say that.
Here's the thing.
Guys,
they
I
were
feel
so,
like guys get approached all the time.
That was the wildest college party I've been to in my life, by the way. People were fucking in every room. It was weird. But they were so drunk, and I don't drink. So you got to realize that coming from my standpoint, like, if I'm not drinking and I see that you are drunk or showing that you are drunk, I feel like I am raping you, actually. That is rape. That is technically.
Josh, you are a real man.
Josh is so like
those girls,
all, like,
yeah,
those so weird, and I love that.
Those girls were just ridiculous. And then one time, we had a bar on campus, and my ex-girlfriend was in the bar, and there was these two girls who liked me, and they were dancing with me, and they wanted to make one of the girls wanted to make her ex-boyfriend jealous, who was also there, and I said no because my ex-girlfriend was there, and I didn't want to like start making out and doing things in front of her there. So I said no twice to threesomes.
Do you feel like you ever want one?
I would absolutely have one for sure. I'm in a relationship now though, but it would have to. That type of stuff can ruin a relationship. I think you have to be on the same page with your partner, because if you're not on the same page, that will ruin you. So I would have to be 100% sure that my girl's in it, because if she's not, that's a bad look.
I know a few relationships that didn't last because of it. Like the girls were like, yeah, I'm totally into it, and they weren't into it, and they wanted to please their boyfriends. That's what I tell women, straight women. I'm like, if you're into threesomes with a guy and a girl, do it for you and make sure you're pleased. Don't do it for the guy. Like, if he asks, explore it, but make sure that you're not uncomfortable. Make sure that, like, because if you're gonna have sex with another woman, that's like part of it. Now that's for like heterosexual couples. So I'm like, be comfortable with it. Don't say yes for him so he can get his little bucket list off. Do it for you.
Yeah, I think that you shouldn't do it unless you feel unless it's something that you really want to do.
Yes. Monique, have you ever had a threesome?
Yes, multiple threesomes.
Girl.
I mean, I've even been close to, like, I joke and be like, oh, at one point I was a concubine. Like, but it's I don't know. To me, it's fun. Like, I think it's fun. It's not something that I would do all the time or like have a schedule for it. But to me, it's fun. And I have a great time doing it. I mean, I think most of the time people are like maybe drunk or, you know, on something or whatever to kind of let that side of your brain go and be free. Yeah. Because I feel like society makes you feel bad for stuff like that, which you shouldn't.
You shouldn't. If you like it, fuck it.
At the end of the day, like, would I do it? I think about it sometimes, like, would I do it with maybe like my boyfriend or my husband? It has to be something that I want to do, not something that he's like trying to push or whatever. And most likely, if he was trying to push it, I would definitely be like, nigga, get out of my face. And it would piss me off because you're not supporting me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I have before. I haven't lately. I haven't, like, it's been years.
Listen, I find it interesting that I get invited all the time because I think people assume that I would be into threesomes because of my personality, and I'm like,
yeah, I assumed you would too.
Everyone does. I'm like, no. Shots when I say no, and I'm like, damn, do I have threesome written all over me? Thank you.
No, I feel like you got some Gemini traits somewhere in there.
I'm a Sagittarius. I'm a Sagittarius, and listen, I'm adventurous. I've tried a lot of things. I just know what I like and what I don't like. And now I've been in situations where it was a college experience, and me and 5 of my girlfriends ran a train on this one dude. But that's not a threesome. So
yeah, that's
not. And I think that's where my mind was like,
how the hell that? Well, how's that happen? Because every guy wants that. That's every guy's like
every guy wants 5 girls.
So. Oh yeah, you in a room, 5 girls come up to you, want to fuck your brains out. Like,
no, but see, here's the thing: we kind of took control of that situation. So the way it happened was this was a college situation. It's gonna be all in my book, but we're grown here. We're in our 30s. We were in college, and it was a dude that was visiting a friend of mine, and he was like real country dude, like real country. And we were drinking, and he kept saying like, "Damn, I just want to like." He's like, "I enjoy eating pussy. Like that's just what I love to do." And me being petty me, I was like, "You do?" I was like, "That's crazy because I live upstairs on the second floor. You should just show me what that mouth do." So I remember I went upstairs and I got a knock on the door, and I was like, "This nigga really came upstairs." So I was like, "Nah, I gotta play into it." So when he came into the room, I was like, "Before we start," because all my friends found him attractive, I was like, "You can't just give me head. You have to give all my friends head." And I kept pushing the boundaries to see where he was gonna stop, and he wouldn't stop. So he was like, "Okay, tell him to come up here." So I was like, "Bitch." So I called them upstairs and I was like, "Yo, come up here right now. I got a proposition for you." They come in the room and I was like, I felt like a dominatrix because I was like, "Sit down. I'm gonna lay out the rules. You are not to touch any of us. You are not like your penis is not to be touched. You're only supposed to give us head."
Yeah.
Man, that's horrible. And that's how it happened. And then I left. And I think that's when I think in that situation, I left because I was like, I got what I needed to get, but I was like, there's too many bitches in this room. And that's why I don't like threesomes, because I was like, there's too many motherfuckers in this room. And I know I wanted to fuck with dude. And then everybody was like, and I was like, I'm waiting my turn. I don't like this. So I left. So I think that's where my no threesomes thing comes from, where I'm like, nah, I just want us to be one person in the room. That was it was a dope experience. I'm not gonna lie. I hope he enjoyed it as much as we did. He said he did.
Oh, he did. Trust me.
I think about him often. I'm like, I hope he's okay.
Really like giving head to, I don't know. Maybe I'm not a.
Well, he kept protesting how much he loved eating pussy. So if you love eating it so much, here's 5 of us, nigga. Eat us all out since you love it so much. Now I don't know what happened with him and the other girls after that. I just know I laid down my ground rules. I got bored when he went on to the next girl, and then I left. So that's for me was like, I should have never invited these bitches, and there's too many bitches in here. And I think for me, and then I've been invited to threesomes ever since, because people get that like energy from me, and I'm like, no.
Or they heard stories. Yo, Kiki.
Could have shit.
Yeah.
She brought back.
But the people who ask are like, it'll be my girlfriends, like close friends with their boyfriends, and I'm like, nah, I got like family now. I can't fuck you guys.
I don't know. Maybe it's the Scorpio in me. I'll be like, I'm ready whenever you are. Like, I mean, to me, it's, I don't know if I could do it with like a boyfriend, because a boyfriend, we're just really getting to know each other. If it was like my husband and, you know, I wanted to spice something up or something, you know, I might be like, okay, let's, you know, try it. Let's do it. Let's whatever. But these are the rules for you.
Gotta be some rules. I think they're fun to look at. I've watched a few.
I just feel like, I don't know. And it also could be just the fact that, you know, when I did the moments that I did do them, like I was on X, that just takes you to a whole nother level, and it's just enjoyable. I don't know. I don't mind it. Sometimes I'm even like, oh, I could do one right now. Yeah. But right now, because I'm not dating nobody, or if I was dating somebody fresh, I would be like, it can't be you. Yeah. It has to be just somebody like a random guy that I'm cool with, or that is in the moment or whatever.
That's how I feel. I feel like though I'm not into it, but I enjoy being asked to join. Like for me, if I was to do it, it wouldn't be my partner, but I also don't mind being asked. Like I felt like it was a compliment that so many people would ask me. I'm like, oh, you guys want me to join? That's so cool. I don't mind being the girl coming in. With my partner, I probably wouldn't.
Yeah,
I would have to pick. I would have to do everything if I was. It can't be your homegirl. It got to be I have to pick. You're not picking your homegirl, and then I find out that's like your ex or something, and you want to know.
I would agree. Like, I wouldn't mind coming in as the girl that y'all like kind of asked, but I don't know. I never get asked. I think I'm just.
Let's switch then, because bitch, I'm asked. I'm like, damn, what is it about me? What is it?
I don't know. I don't know. I never really get asked. I don't know if it's because, you know, most people feel like I'm a little, I don't know. I'm more of I guess on the side of the Scorpio side or whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes I come off a little more I don't want to say conservative, but like a little more mysterious. Like I don't say a
like
lot.
you're
I'm not really like
outside setting, you're more quiet. Not standoffish, but you're like quiet. Me, I walk into the room, I'm like, what's good? Like my personality is very like loud, I think. So I think people are like, oh, she would be fucking down.
yeah.
And I'm the opposite. We're the opposite.
Right. Because I'm going in a room being observant. So I'm just like, okay, I know me, but who do I need to like dodge and who do I need to be talking to? I think also when I go out, it's partying to me. And I always have this motto that says party with a purpose. So I'm not really looking, I don't really care to have conversation with people I just don't care about. But all in all, like I have a great time with them. I think that they're I like threesomes personally. Some like I said, sometimes I'll crave one. I'll be like, oh, I would like a threesome. And I haven't done one with two guys, but I was
gonna ask them like, would you do two guys or two girls? That way it's like three girls or two guys and you.
Yeah, no. I have never done it with two other girls or two guys. No. Because when I grew up, it was always two guys is running a train on you. That would happen in my like city.
Yeah.
And those girls was hoes. And our town was so small. Like you didn't want to be deemed as a hoe. You know what I'm saying?
No, I feel that. You know what? I also think men say it's running a train. Because men be so fucking homophobic sometimes. They're like, I'm not touching no other dude. And I'm like, now that I'm older, you know what I'm saying? And I've watched porn, I now get the whole threesome thing with two guys. I'm like, you guys don't have to fuck each other. Now, yes, there are some couples and truples who are into the guys getting it in. But there is a whole section called double penetration, DP. I know a lot of females who are into it.
Yeah, but that's double penetration. That's not a threesome.
No, it's two guys and you. They're double penetration.
Yeah, but that's the total. Like you got to put in double penetration. You can't just put in a threesome because if you go to porn and you put in threesome, it's going to show everybody having sex with everybody.
Listen, I'm not into threesomes, but I watch threesomes.
Double penetration because
I think
penetration is different.
I think threesomes are subjective to the person because I know people who I know some women who will say threesomes can be two guys and a girl, three guys, three girls. I think it's subjective to how you feel. You know what I'm saying? And then I know some women who are like, I'd rather just do a guy and a girl because it feels like I'm getting a train run on me. So that's why I think it's, I think it's to each his own. And, if you want to give head while getting back shots, if that's your threesome, hey, I'm here for it.
Josh, did you ever do a threesome with another guy? Or I don't know. I feel like it's a trade because, like, if I look it up and I put in certain wording, that's what's going to come up. If
it's technically a threesome to me, but it feels like a train. Like
that,
like if I'm gonna do that, I'll be honest with you, I don't think I could. But if I am, it's just gonna sound so bad. But this is the truth. It would have to be with a girl I don't respect.
But a lot of guys feel that way, Josh. You're not the only one.
Look at her differently.
Yeah, like a girl who like I look at, I'm just like, oh, I just want to fuck you, and I don't like that's not all you're good for, but like on a level where it's just like there's no emotion attached. I know you want it. Like there's just a level of disrespect there that I would have to have for me to give a girl back shots while she's giving another dude head, and just like
she might want that though. Because what if she set it up? Because I know, listen, now that I'm in my 30s, 30 horny is different, and I talk to a lot of my girlfriends. And they be like setting it up with two dudes, and they want to be disrespected. Some of them and be sexually like,
but it's not even disrespected, really. If you think about it, it's what you want. It's what you like.
Yeah, there's some girls who are like,
I feel like guys will look at you differently. He ain't gonna snatch you up and be like, "This is my girl now."
Yeah, that's on us though. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a level for whatever reason. I don't know what it is. It's like, it's almost like, it almost gives this connotation that the girl was easy.
Yeah, because you guys want Madonna whores, because you guys like all this nasty shit, but in real life, you guys want the little fucking girl that's sitting at home waiting for you, but you guys like getting it all. It's like men are so weird to me.
Yeah, like, it's a weird thing.
Men want to jerk off on some girl's back, but then they're like, hey, honey, they want that little boring girl sitting at home.
Right.
The Madonna whore.
Right.
And they're like, yeah, my day was so long, boo. I've missed you. They fucking having 5 sums and 6 sums.
Right,
Living
exactly.
their best lives, though. Living their best lives.
Yeah, we fucked up. Because that is like what I'm saying is fucked up. Like that's so fucked up. I was like, yeah, it gotta be a hoe, you know what I'm saying? I can't do it as a girl respect.
A lot of guys think that way though. And then there's some guys who are like, listen, you know, I want to please my woman, and there's some women who are like, I want to please my man, or I like this and I want to get it in. And I don't see there's anything wrong with that.
Nah, there's not. But a lot of men have egos where, like for instance,
Yes.
mine. I will fully admit I cannot see another guy. With my
I feel
girl.
listen, I know a lot of guys.
Yeah.
I'll
What
play
if your girl, hold on, Josh, what if your girl came to you and was like, yo,
Can't do it.
I want to do this?
I'm selfish as hell in that situation. I can't do it. I can't. But then I'm a hypocrite because I'd be like,
her no?
"What's up?"
You're just gonna say no? Like,
I
how
would be
is this
honest with her. I'd
conversation?
be like, "Hey,
go?
listen, I don't know how I would be able to handle seeing another guy inside of you." I'd just be
I
honest.
know. Josh, I will playfully do that to guys though. Guys will be like, when they find out, like if I'm into like girls, if you want a threesome, I'm like, yeah, let me call one of the dudes, and they're like, what the fuck? I'm like, see, I said, see your reaction. So why would you assume that I want to fuck another girl? No,
Right.
But I like to see men's reactions. They're like, no. I'm like, well, then we're not having a threesome.
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like it is what it is, you know, if it's something you want to explore.
Listen, I would love, I can't wait for this episode to come out.
Not going to turn down, most guys are not going to turn down 2 girls.
Of course not.
Nah.
And so, I mean, why wouldn't it be able to go a different way?
I can't wait for this episode to come out because we should definitely do a poll and see like how many people are into threesomes. What do you consider a threesome? Would you do 2 guys? Would you do 2 girls? Would you do a guy and a girl? I would love to ask like men and women because I'm really curious because I love talking to people now in our 30s and hearing their sexual, like how sexual they are and how horny they are. Because again, I feel like 30-year-old horny is completely off the rails. And I love talking to my friends because a lot of them are into threesomes.
Like now, they're into threesomes now.
Now,
were they before?
They tried it before.
It's such a college thing, honestly.
Yeah, because like we've all like, you know, when you're young, you're in college, you have fun, you do drugs. But I think a lot of my friends weren't really comfortable with themselves and sexually in their 20s. And I feel like when you're in your 30s, it's a different like confidence. You're fucking horny all the goddamn time. Because I think back to me, like, you know, I've always enjoyed sex, but in my 20s, I wasn't as confident. Now I'm like, yeah.
Oh, I was confident as fuck. Like, let's just put it out there. I was like, listen, if you don't pick up the phone, you got one time to not pick up the phone. Period.
I feel that. But there were things in my 20s that I wasn't into in my 20s, and now I'm into now. And I'm like, oh, who is she? Yeah.
I feel like since I cannot lie. I feel like since Anal August and having Tracy on, my mind has really expanded into wanting to try more.
Yeah.
I really want to bring her back on because it was such a way of like opening up and not having someone on that's like, no, the stuff that society puts this deem on, this bad negative connotation on. No, like I'm doing that. No, I'm exploring that. No, I'm going to be the one who's like, yes, let's do it. And just having somebody who's open to that is just like, okay.
And it was educational too. Like she came on, she educated everyone. And again, it's like you said, because I feel like America, we have been so sexualized, but we're fucking prudes, which is weird. So when you go to other countries, it's like, you know, people are so open with their sexuality. Here, it's like, oh, don't say that, but it's porn everywhere. There's sex in movies, there's sex on computers, there's sex on TV, but it's like we don't want to talk about it.
Well, we are more of a sexualized country, I will say.
We are, but we're also prudes.
No, we're not prudes compared to some people, because when I went and met UK people, they don't even do oral.
I guess because I'm thinking of like Amsterdam, because there's like Amsterdam's very free with their sexuality.
I'm talking about UK. UK is like the next biggest. Like they're not even doing oral. They was like, I don't like. They were talking about it. We had a conversation about it, and I was just like, y'all are crazy. Like that's not.
I think English people are very. there's things that, like, if I have a conversation with y'all, there's things I'm gonna say I don't do that I've done. There's some things that I'm not gonna openly. I do think English people are very high society and they have their very, you know, I don't know. I don't want to
Yeah,
say
they
they're
have
prude,
their
but
prudish ways, but I
yeah,
thought they were more like us than they are like other countries. And I'm just
yeah,
like, wow. I mean, but I do feel like because of this is another thing too. I do feel like because of like Christianity or the Bible or whatever religion you take a part of helps and aid in that prudishness.
Now those
yeah.
be the freakiest people. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
no, I was about to say they got a dungeon in the whole basement. Those be the ones that will tell you what
Behind
not to.
closed doors.
Those would be the freakiest ones.
Exactly, John. That's why I was like, America, we talk shit and we be like, oh no, but I'm like, niggas got dungeons, red rooms, dominatrix,
I'm telling
gimps.
y'all, those
I'm
the
like, what
suppressed
the?
religion. There's the girl. It's wild because I don't want to give out too much information, but let's just say that the ones that I've come across who like grew up in a religious household or whatnot were the freakiest ones I met, and the ones who sexualized themselves the most were not. It was just
That
like
part.
flipped, yeah.
The little quiet ones be the little nasty ones. You be
Yep.
like, excuse
Yep.
me.
And the ones on Instagram showing off their body and shit like that don't be doing shit at
They're not.
Oh,
all.
let me twist my hair because we just talked about how I go out quiet.
And literally, because I'm so loud, and I think people assume that I'm just like fucking everybody. And I'm like, no, I'm not a prude, but I'm not like into a lot of things. So I'm like, and I think it's the personality, but it's normally the quiet ones, and little Christian ones that have the little swings downstairs. Listen, I've been invited to a lot of sex parties too. So it's like, okay, thank you for that invitation. I appreciate it.
Well, I
Thank
can say that some of the best sex I have had was with people who are monogamous relationship people because I think they get to explore their partner and they feel comfortable with them, so they
yeah.
explore multiple things with that person that they're with. So when they actually do come to somebody else, they got a whole like
Oh,
plethora of
there's a whole playbook.
experience. Yeah.
Shout out to my girlfriend Kara, my junior in high school, who taught me how to eat pussy. Because of you, I know what I'm doing, and I would like, probably thank you. It's true
Yes,
though.
gosh.
It's true though. Like she literally, when I was in junior high school, literally was like, "All right, this is where this is. This is where this is. This is what I like. This is what." And I was like, "All right."
Exactly. That's why women have to explore their bodies by themselves first, so you can tell your partner what you like and you don't like.
Right. Or you can do it with somebody, but be very aware of when something turns you on and when
Mhm.
something is like, I don't really like that because your body is letting you know. But that's another thing about threesomes. I feel like your senses are being explored in so many ways.
I think maybe because I'm openly bisexual, I'm like, I don't find the fun in fucking a guy and a girl because I'm like, I do that. So it's like, okay, I don't know. I'm weird.
But I mean, since your perspective is a threesome, a guy and a guy, what about a guy and a guy? Or two other girls?
I've been invited to two other girls. No, I haven't done two other girls. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of want to try the guy and a guy thing. I want to try that.
Josh.
You try to set this up, Moni?
But I want to because why not? I want to try for me. I want to do it for me. I don't want to do it with my boyfriend. I don't want to do it with like a guy I'm dating. I just want to have two guy friends who are comfortable with their sexuality and comfortable to be in a room. And it's for me. I'm open to that threesome, not a guy and a girl. Because I'm like, I do that.
Well, I don't think that a lot of guys are not comfortable with their sexuality. I think that, sometimes, and Josh, get on and speak for, guys, but I think that, to me, if it's a guy and he's just not into other men, then a train is what it comes to. And I don't think that
That's what I mean. I want a guy comfortable with their sexuality who doesn't mind being in a room with another guy.
No, but
like where they're not turned off.
Yeah, it's not even just being turned off. There are guys who would like it does make them feel like they're being threatened, like their sexuality is being threatened.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, my penis is not gonna be close to another man's penis.
Exactly.
Like,
I don't want that. I want a
I've
guy
heard
who
that. I've heard that so many times. I can't tell you how many times I've heard that.
I want a guy who's like, I don't give a fuck. Let's just all fuck. Like that's what I mean
Yeah.
by comfortable with their sexual. Where they're just like, I don't care.
Yeah,
Like,
that part doesn't bother me. To me, it's for whatever reason I can't get past that. I guess the misogyny of like, what I think of the girl who I'm doing it with. If that makes any
I know
sense.
the girl's getting fucked, and you're like, damn, what a fucking.
Well, Josh, I'm glad that you're very aware of yourself.
Yeah, it's one of those things that, like, I know this is like a different topic, but like I had this conversation the other day with someone. I was like, "Do you think this world's more racist or sexist?" And we were just talking about how like so many things are just embedded in us, and how you can't shake them. And like that's something in our generation, at least, that was embedded, where it's just kind of like there should be no problem with a girl wanting to have sex with you, like none whatsoever. But for whatever reason, I grew up in the town or wherever where same thing with you, Monique, where it's like, oh, if a girl's doing that, she's this, she's that, and that was embedded in me, and it's still to this day, it's hard for me to kind of get away from that, just because A, I don't think about it often, and B, it's not a big part of my life, but you know, at least I'm aware of it.
Yeah,
Right.
there's a lot of guys that feel that way though. Like you're not
Yeah.
the only one because the word was trained growing up. I think as
Right.
I got older and I started having friends who were like polyamorous, I started talking to different people. I started watching different sections in porn where I was like, oh, okay. And I started talking to different women who were like, yo, I want to have a threesome with two guys. Or I would just talk to different people. And then it opened my mind to be like, oh, maybe to them that's not running a train. But I do know there are some guys that's like, I'm not fucking no girl with another guy in the room. Ain't no dude looking at my dick, and I'm not.
My question is, okay, so here comes another question. Like, would you feel differently about a guy if y'all have if it's two guys and you, and y'all have a you know, this combination going on, and he doesn't mind messing with another guy, with the guy? How
No,
would you
because
feel in that instance?
I wouldn't feel weird because I would hope that we would have that conversation before. So if I'm having that conversation and we're going into it, and you tell me like I don't mind messing with another guy, if I'm into that, I wouldn't be mad at that. I'd be like, all right, cool, let's.
Are you into that though? What if it happened? You said you want to explore having a
I do
threesome
want
with
to do
two
two
guys.
guys.
What if it was just like, you know what? I'm in the mood. I'm about to hit it from the back with this other dude.
I know I would end up probably just watching if it was like if we were like all three of us were together. And I honestly would rather a guy that's bisexual into guys because again, I just don't. I know a lot of straight men just do this thing where they're like, and it's like, okay, I would rather a guy who's sexually fluid, open, pan, bi, who doesn't mind. And again, not saying that bi, pan, and open men want to have sex with every man that they see, but I would rather be in a room with two men who are more comfortable and not uncomfortable. Now, this is something I want to try. I'm not saying I'm trying to go around looking for it like, hey y'all, let's so I wouldn't mind, but that's something that I would want to explore. And of course, I would hope that we would have that conversation beforehand. Now we haven't had that conversation, and then y'all just start getting in. I'm like, oh okay, cool, different. And then I'd end up watching.
Do you feel like you'll feel any way towards him?
No.
What if your man wanted this? What if your man, let's switch up the what if your man came in and wanted this?
Then I would say to my man, this is a conversation to talk about because it's something that I wish you would have told me beforehand. And then we would explore from there. Like if I don't like if my man came to me and was like, listen, I want to explore with another guy, then I'd be like, you're clearly either bisexual, pan, or on the spectrum, and you're sexually fluid. We need to have that conversation because I know that there are couples like that as well. Now, if he doesn't have that conversation, and I guess we would if I had to bring another dude in. Because
Josh, I'm very self-aware. If my man came to me and was like, I want a threesome with another man, I'm gonna be like, listen. I'm sorry, like society does a number on you sometimes, and even though you try to improve as a person, because it's not fair. It really isn't. We know that it's not always right to be like that, but I'm gonna look at him differently. I definitely am going to look at him differently.
If it's something that, yeah, if he hasn't opened up to me before we started dating and talked about that part of his life, and you bring it up, I am going to be like, I kind of wish that you would have told me that you were into men, because if you don't, we 3 years in and you're like, I want to have a threesome with a man. I'm like, why didn't you tell me this before? Like when we were dating? Because it's, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just want you to put everything up front. Now, if you don't say that and it comes out of nowhere, I am going to be like, fam, Are you fluid? Are you bi? Like, I want you to have those conversations without me judging you, but I would like to know. Yeah. That's me, though.
Right. Well, I need a minute to register, and
Yeah,
I
because it's like,
definitely
bruh.
be like, I'm even in that moment. Like, if I decided I wanted two guys to have sex with two guys, then and they started doing it with one another, I feel
Hey.
I think I would have to feel like Josh feels about two guys on a girl. There
Yeah.
has
That's why I
to
said you gotta
really
be.
be no attachment
That's why I said when you do threesome,
at
you gotta be
all.
into that shit and you gotta be okay with it. Because the same thing with a guy and a girl. Like, for me, if it comes to threesomes, I'm not asking my partner, whether it's my man. I don't want to do a threesome with my partner. I want to do it with two
Like
randos
never,
and two
even if
friends.
you're married and y'all just kind of
No.
want to like.
Because then I'm gonna say to my man, I'm gonna say, if you want a threesome with you and me and a girl, you have to be open to something that I want to do. I don't want to, because again, I don't want to do threesomes for you because I personally don't like them. So now I'm doing it for you. Now, if I compromise and do it for you, you would have to do something for me sexually that I like, and we would have to have that conversation.
Yeah, Josh, would you give your wife a threesome if she asked?
Oh man, I would like to think I would, but I don't know if I would. If I'm being completely honest with you, that's something I would have to get past for sure. And like I said, a lot of it also has to do with the fact that I don't know if I can mentally handle seeing something go in and out of my girl like that. I don't know if I could.
Oh, Josh, I love it.
I'm just being
Even
honest.
That's
yeah,
real though. A lot of people feel that way. That's how I feel. I don't want to have no threesome with my man and he fucking the next bitch, and I gotta look over and be like, the fuck? And he
Especially because
fucking her
I know how
differently.
dudes are too. Like after that shit happens, like he can be hitting her up in the DMs. Like it don't stop with dudes. Like it
That's
don't
why I
stop
don't want to
there.
do a threesome with my man, because if I look over and you hitting that bitch differently, that you haven't fucked me the way that I should be fucked, then I'm like, wait a minute, sir. You don't lift my leg up like that. How come she? No, get out, sis. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get her out of here.
Oh man.
Nah,
no,
threesomes. I like watching them on porn, but I don't like doing them.
I wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't. I feel like when you think about it and you marry somebody, and I used to think about it like, oh, when you marry somebody, you marry them for life. But the older
Sure.
you get, you start to understand that people evolve and grow, and sometimes shit happens. So I feel
True.
like everything can be talked about. I say for me, an open relationship for me means everything can be talked about. Everything can be communicated. Everything, like, we should be best friends. We should be able to talk about it. If it's something in the moment that I just, am like, I'm cool with, I don't think I would mind it. I mean, if you 30
because
years
you like
in,
it. You don't mind it. So I think for me, like, I don't want to do it. So if someone brings it to me, it's like, I don't mind hooking you up and pleasing you, but you gotta do something for me now if I'm doing something for you. Now, if I was into it and my husband wanted to do it, fuck yeah, we could do it. Bring whoever the fuck you want. Like, but again, like you said, relationships are open. So I feel like my husband should be open to whatever I'm bringing to the table.
He should be. You're right about that.
But I know it's subjective. I know each relationship is different. And I know because there are some couples who's like, hey, you want to step out and do what you want to do? I'll be right here. Do what you got to do because I'm not going to do it. And I respect that. I'm like,
right. And
that's dope.
that's how I kind of feel, because think about it, like, getting the same dick and the same pussy for the next 10, 20 years.
10, 20. Shit, we got 70 more years to live. Imagine being married to someone now until you're like 100.
70 years, but I'm saying by the time you get 60 and stuff, most of the time I feel like you still ain't busting it wide open like you was in the beginning.
So after that menopause is over, can you tell I grew up with a lot of old aunties? After the menopause is over, I'm trying to be like Jane Fonda. Jane Fonda is 80 and she's like fucking like 40-year-olds.
I mean, I know somebody who is 90 and she's getting it. So
a nurse, actually. Listen, nursing homes have the highest like numbers of like STDs and STIs. They still fucking.
They still are, but
you don't think they do it
as much? You know what I'm saying?
I feel that because I know women, especially like women in our hormones, I do know once you get to menopause, it's weird. But I know after menopause, my aunt was like in her 60s, She was like, fam, the sex drive went back. But I know it's different for everyone. It's not like that
Right.
for all women. Like, it is not. Because some women be like, leave me alone, bro. Get
That
off
should
me.
be another topic. Like, are they having threesomes in nursing homes with all these, like...
Listen, they might be, because a lot of older people got dementia and Alzheimer's, so they don't remember what's happening. So, listen, my mom worked in a nursing home for 30 years, and she told me
She's
some.
like, I
That's
don't
why I'm
remember
saying,
who
like,
I was.
my mom used to tell me some interesting stories because she's worked with elderly people her whole life. She's a nurse. So she's like, fam, she's like, we would have to like walk in, break up some sex acts. I'm like, what the She's like, and these people are married and their spouses don't live with them. So they have new booze in the home and they're having sex.
That sounds like a sitcom. That sounds like you should write a script.
Literally,
That's
I'm about to write a
crazy.
script. And you know what I think Tyler Perry did? It's fuck, what's the name of it? He has it where they're like in their 60s. I haven't really watched it. And now I think I want to watch it to see if he like talks about the whole sexual part of it. It's
He'll
a
be
new
like,
show that he just
oh,
came out with.
I went in there. She has dementia. She wasn't remembering who she was.
Because if not, y'all, I'm writing that script. Old people getting it in.
Get it in.
But like not remembering the details.
And not remembering what happened. They're like, their husband or wife visits them and they're like, hi, honey. How are you? They just fucked Al down the hall.
Right. And then I walked down and thought Al was Tim, and Tim,
Yo, that's the life I'm trying to live when I'm fucking 80. I'm trying to be fucking at 80 and 90, okay?
yo, it's possible because
I'm trying to be one of those hippies who like is mad hippie-ish, has like one little man on the side and has like a boyfriend that lives someplace else. And I'm just fucking and they don't know my business and I'm living my best life. That's how I'm
living your
trying to
best
be.
life. I'm telling you, I know a 91-year-old and she is getting it in. And it ain't her boyfriend.
Nana.
91. She turned 91 this year.
But you know what? Hugh Hefner was still fucking at like 95. So
was he really though?
He wasn't doing the fucking. He was there. They were fucking. He wasn't. Well, according to I didn't read all her book, but some of the books where the playmates talk about like he took a lot of Viagra.
Yeah.
And and I'm like, that's hard on men in their heart. And to be that old to still be doing that, I'm like, that is harmful. But he was still doing it.
Shit. He was like, I got all these women. I might as well have my threesomes in my 80s.
Shout out to the threesomes.
He was a horrible person though.
Yeah. Not shout out to Hugh Hefner. Shout out to the threesomes. Not shout out to Hugh. No.
Anyways, I think we are going to do a poll because this poll needs to be done. I feel like
2 polls.
Right. Yes.
Right.
And what about wanting a threesome and being rejected? Like,
oh, that's a good one. Damn.
Like you're like, I want a threesome, and the guy is like, Josh.
No, but there are guys who are not into it too. And I'd be like, wow, has society taught me that I thought all men were just whores? And I thought men were just all
they act like it though.
They do. So
like how can you put out this sexual aura and then you are girl, because I've heard, I have heard this multiple times, and then girls throw out a threesome to you and you're like, nah.
Yeah. I would playfully, a guy I dated, he wasn't into like threesomes with girls because I would playfully be like, would you want a threesome with me, another girl? And he's like, no. I'm like, oh, okay. Never mind. Oops. Just checking. So there's some guys who are not.
Who said that too. He was like, there was 2 girls who offered me a threesome tonight, and I was just like, no. And I'm
some guys are not into that. And one guy told me another reason why I don't like to tell guys I'm bisexual. Some men are not comfortable with that as well because they do the thing where they're like, oh, you're into women, you're not really into me. That's selfish, blah, blah, blah. So some men get insecure, not all men, and they're just like, oh, you're going to be fucking another girl. I'm not going to be able to do anything. And I'm like, sir, please. So some men do not.
And I think looking at it, it's crazy because that means we overly sexualize men.
And that's why I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
We do.
We do, because I be feeling like they should go for it all the time. And there's been times where I've just been turned down for sex. Like,
Yeah,
no, I'm
no,
tired.
yes.
Like, what? How do you get tired? You have a penis. You should be going more than me. Oh,
You should be wanting to fuck me. I used to
I
get
had a
shocked
girl.
when
I had a
I
girl one
came
time.
up mute for that one.
Yeah, it's true though. Like girls can't handle that shit. There was this one girl. I was at a bar. I had a girl at the time, so she hit on me, and she was so aggressive, and I was just pushing her away, and she stops in the middle of it. She goes, "Oh my god, you're gay." I was like, "I'm not gay." She's like, "You're gay." I was like, "I'm not gay. I got a girl. I ain't trying to fuck with you." She's no, you're gay. She's like, no. She's like, I get it now. You're gay. I was like, yo,
But that's how, and I feel bad because there are men who are not sexual deviants, and I think that society and women have done this thing where we're like, men should always want to fuck. What's the problem? So when a guy's actually like, no, can you get off of me? Some women do that, and they're like, oh, you're not into women, and the guy's like, no, I just don't want to have sex with you.
Listen, I was just recently rejected, and all he wanted to do was cuddle, and I was like, the fuck?
Oh, but that's so.
No, not when you're horny. Like, y'all know I go spurts. I'll have spurts where I don't do it for like a year and a half, 2 years. At this moment, I need you to whip out your penis. Sometimes I'll be feeling like a predator.
Well, maybe he's the cuddle guy. He's not the guy for you to just fuck. Maybe he's just your cuddle boo.
No.
We have sexualized men. Fuck.
We have. I think we have overly sexualized guys because I be feeling like they should.
Or have they overly sexualized themselves?
That's what it is.
That's what it is.
Yeah, that's really what it is.
Because if we look at it, hey, in New York City, Times Square, it was like fucking porn and sex shops everywhere. When men would be able to go and just jerk off on a wall. That's why I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I feel like men have overly sexualized themselves. So when you actually do meet a dude who's like, no, I don't want to have a threesome with you and your girlfriend. Get away from me. You're like, what the fuck? It's different for you. Or a guy that's like, I don't want to have sex with you right now. I'm tired. And you're like, take that dick out.
Right.
Wow.
I'm like, pull it out now. What are you talking about? Like, it even comes to one time this guy was like, I feel like you're raping me. I was like, oh shit, no. Like,
bro, get out. One
guy
said
get out.
He was like, I feel like you're just using me for sex. Like I'm a piece of me. And I'm like, that's how you presented yourself to me. What are you talking about? You wanted just that. So when I feel like sometimes when it comes to men, not all men, Josh, some men don't like the energy that they put out and that you give back to them. So I felt like that's the energy you were giving me. You wanted sex. So when I would request sex, now it's a problem for you.
And then, right, when I request sex and you've had a conversation talking about, we should have a threesome, or I want a threesome, or threesome should be required every 6 months type shit. But I just want you to pull it out to sit on it. Sir,
please.
Don't be disappointing other people.
Oh,
don't try to wrap other people in this to disappoint like you just did me.
Sir, fuck me, please. Don't play no games. But yes, we're not condoning that. We're telling everyone to listen to your partner. And if they say stop, no means no.
No means no. We already had that conversation. No means no on both sides. Hello. I mean, as women, I feel like I try a little harder sometimes. Like, what are you talking about? This rejection is just you playing around.
Yeah, like Josh said, I think women we don't like that. We're like, what? Because I think most of the time men want it on their time. So I feel like when we want it on our time, and guys are like, no, it's like that's not fair.
Yeah,
don't reject me. No.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this wraps up our episode about threesomes. We're going to put the poll in. Kiki does our social media. We're going to put the poll in so that you guys can rate like how you feel on the subject or these subjects.
Because I'm curious. I really want to know how people feel.
I am too. Like I do. So where can they catch y'all?
Yes, you guys, I was going to say something really inappropriate, but I will not do that. You guys can slide in my DMs at Kiki Boom Boom. And also, if you're in New York City, there's a museum called the Museum of Sex. They have all the good stuff there about threesomes and fetishes and all that good stuff. Make sure you check it out because I'm waiting for LA to build one, and follow me on socials
It's
at Kiki
bomb.
Boom Boom.
You can jump around in titties. It's
Yes, girl. There used to be a whole floor of fetishes, and there used to be a whole floor of like porn. And I used to like walk. There was like a thing of threesomes. I don't know if it exists anymore, but hopefully it does.
It does. Yes, it does. They show videos and everything.
Favorite museum.
Josh, since you was on this episode, let the fans know where they can find you.
I'm on all social media at Josh_Rodriguez_. Very simple.
And ladies,
You can
don't
follow
be
my
hitting his
sports content.
DM for no
Don't be sliding in
threesome.
Josh's DMs, y'all.
I'll say this: I don't look how I sound. I catch it all the time, yo. My voice is goofy as fuck.
Josh, you don't sound how you look. That is very interesting.
He
I get that all the
doesn't.
time.
But they've seen him before. Josh is cute.
Oh, thanks.
Josh,
You're
is
welcome.
very cute.
And you can hit me up at Hey Mo Love, all social media platforms. Make sure you follow at Queens Uncut on all social media platforms, and tune in every Wednesday because we have new episodes, season 4, dropping every Wednesday. And if you haven't, make sure you go catch up season 3, 2, and 1. And we're super excited. You can see this video because we also, when we record, we have the video. You can go to Black Queens Uncut, just search it in YouTube and we'll pop up. Boom, we are there. You can see all the rest of the videos. And once again, we drop every Wednesday. You can check out all episodes on all platforms, Spotify, Apple. We have a website, blackqueensuncut.com. So yeah, we love you, Queendom family, and bye.
Bye.
Don't have too many threesomes.